Hello, welcome back to my channel. Have you ever thought about serial killers? Have you ever studied serial killers? And then you sat there and you were thinking, I must be a bad person if I'm interested in serial killers. This is like a bad thing to think about. But then you think, what if it's a serial killer that killed bad people? Do you still think that those serial killers are bad? There's a TV show and it's called Dexter, and it's about a serial killer who actually kills bad people. But if you watch the TV show, you'll find out sometimes that doesn't always work out. And the guy that I'm going to talk about today is called Pedro Filho. I hope I said the last name correct. He's Brazilian. He's a Brazilian serial killer who died in 2000. And I think it was 23, yes, 2023. And everybody he killed, or at least he says, I think he killed people who were not just bad, but everybody he says he killed were bad. A righteous kill, if you will. That's actually another movie. Well, let's talk about Dexter and this serial killer. It's going to be interesting anyway because it's in Brazil, and Brazil has some different laws than America. I don't think I'm necessarily into the Brazilian penal system or legal system or prison system. Let's just call it that. Okay, anyway, let's get spooky. I'm Detroit Allycat. If it's your first time here, welcome to my hot mess of YouTube. I'm not going to pretend that I'm a big YouTuber. I'm just a little weirdo who does paranormal, true crime, anything spooky, anything weird and unusual. And today I'm going to talk about some weird or unusual things. Okay, let's get into it. First thing first, this whole YouTube video is inspired by this. Oh my gosh, I'm going to have so many things happen at once. Is inspired by this makeup brand. I am like a midnight shopper. Have you guys ever shopped at like 1 or 2 in the morning? I can do a whole video on my sleepwalking midnight 1 or 2 in the morning behaviors. And also, this is a new little microphone. I hope it sounds good. Okay, so this company came out with a Dexter palette and makeup brush, and I bought something else. I don't sometimes I buy things in the middle of the night and I wake up the next day or like a month later and I'll get it and I'll be like, oh my gosh, what did I do? I don't know. All part of my mental illness, I guess. But I have noticed that you guys don't like to do just makeup palettes. They don't get as popular. I don't want to open this by myself because I don't even know if I really needed a Dexter palette. But also, I knew I was kind of obsessed with it, so I do want to show it to you. But like, I also want to tell you about the serial killer because, like, I do know that you like stuff about serial killers. So let's talk about Pedro. All right. Pedro lived in Brazil. Let me get you his exact date that he was born. He was born October 29th, 1954. I believe that's a Scorpio. Not that that matters. But what does matter is that Pedro's father was extremely abusive. Imagine that, right? A serial killer's father being abusive. I pretty much think that that's where it all stems from, just so you know. So his father was abusive, and Pedro was actually born with like some kind of damage to his skull and brain. And that's from his father, like, beating his mother when she was pregnant. You haven't even come into the world and you've already got scars. However, they said Pedro was okay, even though they like to argue and say that he was a psychopath from the beginning. There is some scientific theories that some kind of front lobal cortex doesn't work right, and that's what makes you a sociopath. I find sociopaths really interesting. I know a lot of people really want to like overdiagnose sociopaths, and there's another psychopath and sociopaths. There's differences between them, but they're all related to the same thing: antisocial behavior disorder. And that's like I want to say it's like borderline or bipolar or schizophrenia. It is a mental illness, but I find it notable that people with this mental illness, and I think the other ones too, are highly intelligent. A lot of your psychopaths, sociopaths are serial killers because they lack empathy, feelings. It's a really deep topic, and it's one that we could talk about for hours. But something that a lot of people forget is that a lot of psychopaths and sociopaths can actually be CEOs or head of companies. And the reason for that is it's not hard for them to make the hard decisions. Like, I need to fire Becky because Becky's not doing her job properly. But like a normal person would be like, I can't fire Becky. She's got 5 kids. That's not necessarily going to be a psychopath's problem. They're just going to be like, goodbye, Becky. But other people don't realize that not all sociopaths and psychopaths are built the same. Just because you're a psychopath does not mean you're going to kill people or become a CEO, or you won't love anybody. In fact, I think psychopaths and sociopaths can really love people, their kids, their partners, and they can really not love people. It's a complicated situation. I'm not going to pretend like I'm a doctor. I just only have my own personal experience with psychopaths. And yes, I have had a psychopath in my life that I became quite close to, and one day I'll talk about that, but that person does not want me to talk about that. And that's another thing. Most psychopaths and sociopaths don't want you to know that they're a psychopath or sociopath. So if somebody tells you that they are, be wary. Okay, moving on to Pedro. Okay, let's talk about the Brazilian penal system, which would be like their prison system. I don't agree with this because I don't agree with their system because they only give a maximum sentence of 30 years no matter what you do. So just take a moment to think about that. No matter what you do, right? Okay, I have to do like small increments of videotape, so I gotta go and come back. I am back. Are you excited? The Brazilian criminal legal prison system. You can only do 30 years max. So you could kill like 100 people, and that's what Pedro said. He said he killed 100 people, but they only found 70 people that he killed or could prove. But like, that's, I don't know. I don't know if I agree with that. And then also they have this thing, they had this thing for a while that Pedro helped overturn, that psychopaths cannot be in prison just because they're a psychopath. I personally would argue that he needed to be in prison because he killed so many people and not because he was a psychopath, but that's just me and you. All right, let's read the facts about my Pedro. All right, he's got a couple different names. I think his name is Pedro Rodrigues Filho. I hope that was right. I really do. Gotta put them glasses on, girl. He was born October 29th, 1954, and he died March 5th, 2023. He was also known as Pedrinho Matador, Killer Little Pedro, Killer Petty, and Killer Petey. Okay, let's get you the good stuff. That's just like the basic generic stuff. Let's talk about my guy. I found lots of good stuff. He was considered a vigilante. He was a one-time cannibal. He was born on a farm in Santa Rita do Sapalaca. No. He was born on a farm in Brazil. That's all you need to know. And so when he was 13 years old, he started thinking about killing his cousin. But he decided to not kill his cousin because he felt bad. And then at 14 years old, his father was accused of stealing food and he was fired from his job. So Pedro killed the dude that accused his father. And thus began Pedro's life as a serial killer. Yep. I don't know why he would. I mean, I guess I know why he would do that because he didn't really like his dad. Like, he talked about how he didn't like his dad because his dad was, like, not a good guy. And so it's strange to me that he would, like, avenge somebody that ended up, like, I don't know, messing with his dad. But he did. He did. Let's talk just a little bit more, and then I'm going to open this Dexter thing. Uh-oh. If you were wondering, like, I actually put it on my tablet today instead of writing it down. Are you proud of me? This guy is pretty good looking, too. So, Rodriguez killed the vice mayor of Alfonso with a shotgun belonging to his grandfather, as the vice mayor was the one who fired his father. A month later, he killed another guard at the school whom he believed was the real thief. After killing them, he took refuge in San Paulo. Then he met a woman. The woman became pregnant with his child. These people killed and raped his woman, and then he went on a killing spree. He ended up in the prison where he killed 47 people that were in the prison. They let him out in 2003, and he was only out for like a year. He ended up killing more people, and then he went back into the prison, and then he got out, I don't know, like 2018. I'm telling you the important stuff. There's a lot more to his life. He had a crazy life, but we're going to do a good summary. And then around 2023, he's like walking down the road, and he ended up getting killed in some kind of like drive-by shooting. And it's probably because they knew who he was and they wanted to become famous. And the only reason he got out in 2003, which I think is crazy because they knew he had killed a bunch of people, is because there was some Brazilian law that psychopaths cannot be indefinitely in prison. So there you go. That's like the quick cliff notes on our dear friend Pedro. And then Pedro Filho. I know that I'm saying it wrong. So if you know how to say it right, please post in the comments. So Pedro Filho, little Pedro, is actually the serial killer that gave inspiration to make the show Dexter. All right, we're going to do another segment. Now that you know the guy that gave inspiration for the movie Dexter, I'm going to show you this really cool makeup kit. So you can leave if you don't like makeup, or you can stay with me and look at the Dexter makeup kit. Sorry. It's smoky out, and it's really, because we have those Canadian wildflowers. Why do I keep saying wildflowers? The Canadian wildflowers are coming for me. The Canadian wildfires, and it's making everybody in Michigan like scratchy, hard to breathe. There's a whole thing right now. Like, Canadians are telling Americans, like, if you think it's bad, how do you imagine it over here? And Americans are like, well, we're having a hard time too. There's all this fighting online. I don't understand that personally. Like, yeah, there's fires. Everyone's suffering. Let's just leave it at that, okay? We don't need to argue about who's suffering more. Like, I get it. Your house burned down, your stuff burned down, you're suffering. But I'm still having a hard time breathing. So who knows who's right about that? Okay, anyway, back to the makeup kit. It's by a company called Lethal Cosmetics. It has this outer cart thingy. Okay, look, this is why I was obsessed. Have you guys ever watched Dexter? It's a good show. My husband personally doesn't like it. He's always making fun of it. He's like, The dark passenger. I don't know. That is a bit much. But look at this freaking makeup. Oh, you guys are going to die. This is so cool. Do you guys like makeup? Look at this. Look at this. You see that? All right, I'm going to do one swatch for you. One. I'm going to do this toothberry. It's so bad. Oh, look at that, dude. Oh, I'm not gonna lie, that's pretty sick, my friends. All right, it has like 12 different shades. This is why I was obsessed with it. This is so cool looking. Whew. All right, and then the makeup brushes. Listen, I know most of you don't like these makeup hauls, but they made the makeup brush a serial killer kill kit. It rolls up. I don't know how you're supposed to do this with this microphone. I guess I'll attach it to this thing. It rolls up like a serial killer kill kit. Oh, so cool. Yeah, and the tips of the brushes are red. And then they're pretty good brushes. I mean, I don't really care. I think that the fact that they're like a kill kit, that did it for me. And if you watch my other video about that glam light makeup that I did the saw, that stuff is actually really good. I've used it every day since I opened that, and I have to tell you, I'm so impressed. Okay, there's one more thing that I have, and it says evidence on it. I don't even know what it is. Authorized. It says to be opened by authorized personnel. I don't know what it is. And it's got blood. Okay, we're just going to have to open it. Ooh, this looks like lipstick. Heck yeah. I don't know what it is. Let's open it. It was very easy to open. Does that freak you out? Do you think something's wrong? I don't think I can do this. This is why I'm not a makeup guru, guys. All right, it's really cool though. I like it. I don't know. I'm not good with makeup. All right, listen, I appreciate you watching my video. I hope you like this with my little new camera. I want you to have a wonderful day. Stay safe, stay spooky, subscribe, like, leave a comment. I get so lonely when you guys don't leave comments. And tell me, do you guys not like me opening makeup? Do you want me to cover more serial killers? All right. Love you so much. Have a great day. Bye. Stay safe, stay spooky, stay sexy. Bye.